Welcome to 5 and 5 from the One Stop Co-op Shop, where we discuss 5 key elements of a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today we're looking at Mutants from Lucky Duck Games. Disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this game. Mutants initially passed me by, I'd never even heard of it. But my friend Razupaf from our Slack, who's also a reviewer himself, said it was a pretty fun game and he thought I would enjoy it. So did Raz steer me straight? Let's find out and get to the list. In our review focusing on the solo mode of the game, we're starting off with a pro, and that's how you and the AI struggle over power. The majority of the abilities you'll play on your mutant cards will either move your power marker up the track or move the enemies down. And this has two main effects. First of all, if one of you is all the way at the top and the other one is near the bottom, you get free victory points, or in this case damage, every turn. But also, if the human player is ahead of the AI in one of the 5 rounds, you deal some automatic damage. The jockeying for position and power gives the game a lot of its tension and fun, but also I love the design decision that the AI does not benefit when they win the round, they just deny you the damage you would have done. So if you see you're getting your butt completely kicked, you can choose to kind of let the round go and save your best resources for later. Our next one is a mix, and that's the deck building and culling in the game, which in this case is called freezing. If you've paid attention to our content, you know that I'm a big fan of deck builders, but here it's pretty minimal. You only have an advanced set of 12 mutant cards to add to your deck, and you usually won't even get all of them, and a lot of them don't really combo against each other, they just have very individual effects. So the negative side of this is how simple and basic it is. Some people who really love complicated deck builders with lots of combos won't enjoy it. But on the positive side, because you gain so few mutants, each one you add to your deck can have a major effect. And similarly, with such a small set of cards, everything you freeze out of your deck can have a big impact on how your engine runs. We've got a related point at number 3, and that's the deck construction in the solo game. So I already mentioned that you only have 12 advanced mutant cards to pull from, but in the solo game you're actually building those 12 out of the full range of mutants available to you. Now on the negative side, the core set doesn't have a huge number of mutants, so you are going to see them all pretty quickly, although to be fair you only use 12 at a time and often you'll double them up in pairs, so it actually feels like more than it is. And also the combos you'll build in the game sometimes feel a little too obvious, because there are certain mutants that have ongoing powers, and pretty much you're often just going to build your entire deck around one of them. But that being said, it is still a ton of fun to build a cool deck and see it work out, and you can even tailor it to the specific AI opponents and really do some awesome stuff. And we're doing a third mix in a row with our number 2, and that's the enemy AI you face off against. I'll get the negative side out of the way first. The only major negative here is that there's only 2 AI decks in the base game, so you're going to see everything they have to offer pretty quickly. Doesn't mean it isn't still fun to play against them with different decks, but you won't have as many surprises to see anymore. But on the positive side, first, if you're willing to put up a little money for the other expansions, you can get up to 3 other bosses, and they have very different effects and tricks to play on you. But mainly I'm impressed by how quickly and simply the enemy turns run. Basically you just slide a card to the side and play another one. But even with that simplicity, they still give a lot of agency to the player in how to control and deal with the enemy. You can see which way, left or right, the AI's next card is going to push their pile, which lets you know which cards are going to fire off, which lets you set yourself up with defenses and appropriate responses. And additionally, a whole slew of the enemy's cards can be outright destroyed, dealing extra damage to them if you achieve certain little tasks like freezing the right kind of card or attacking the right kind of way. And with that second one leaning pro, we're going to go into another pro with number 1, and that's the simple basic card play of using your mutants. The gameplay in each round is super simple. You'll have a 6-card hand, and you can either play a card for its power, discard 2 cards to get an advanced mutant and play that, or discard 1 card to save an advanced mutant for next round. But with this really basic simplicity, you get a lovely amount of tempo and strategy in the game. Since your sort of normal or basic turn is to deploy 1 mutant, anything you do other than that changes the pace of how you're playing. Some rounds you'll be really crushing the AI, so you'll want to slow play it and get those bonus damage points over and over again. But other rounds, they come straight for your throat, and you want to do double cards to get the advanced mutants so that you quickly go through the round. And then there's the great touch that your waiting mutants don't go away when a new round starts, so you can set yourself up for some really huge attacks, or set yourself up for failure if you've left yourself vulnerable. In the end, I was really pleasantly surprised by Mutants. For me, the deck construction, the deck building, the strategic card play all reach a sweet spot of being incredibly quick. I can play the whole game in 20 or 30 minutes max, but still offering tons of options and a lot of great things for me to think about. On the other hand, if you're really only looking for super deep deck construction or incredibly combo-tastic deck building, because this game has struck a streamlined middle ground, it might not totally fulfill you. Additionally, like I said a few times, the game only reaches its full glory and its full variety if you're willing to spend some money on expansions. Now, I still think the core game has a lot of value if you're also going to play multiplayer, but if you think you're only going to play solo, I definitely would say get the expansions too, or you might not enjoy yourself all the way. But in the end, Mutants is definitely a really fun solo experience, and one I plan to keep for quite a while. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.